Hello out there in the land of bizarre. If I'm talking a little different and my mouth's a little crooked, I had some serious dental work done, and I'm still a little puffy and swollen, so I'm going to try to do my best to talk to you. Anyway, it's been about a week since I posted a video, and I've been focusing more on my health issues and stuff like that. Today I'm just going to discuss some of the things that I have, stories that I've been through, some of the things that I've read with people when they came in the store. Today's story, I just want to discuss that I had a friend one day that came over, and she came over for something totally different than anything. She just stopped in to say hello, and she had a friend with her because she's a photographer, and she brought a friend along, and they weren't here for any kind of readings. I mean, I try not to do readings on people that are, really close. I don't mind remote viewing on people that I know, but other than that, unless it has something to do with connecting with something in their past that I really don't know anything about, I really am not fond of doing readings on people that I know too well. And because it really does, you start mixing what you know about them along with, the readings and stuff. So it just isn't my favorite thing to do. But anyway, she came in, and her friend was here, and we were sitting here about maybe 15-20 minutes, and I just kind of sat back and I listened. I was taking in what I could about this girl who was sitting here, and it was really bizarre. To my friend, I said, do you guys mind if I just do a reading on you, just for the fun of it? And I planned on it being fun. At any rate, I first noticed that I was getting this image of spaghetti spill on my left leg, and gosh, I'm getting spaghetti, and then I got this guy's name, and he was like a truck driver. And I always tell people, I always say, please don't open your eyes big, don't nod your head yes, don't go along with me as I'm talking. Wait until afterwards. I mean, you're more than welcome to take paper and write down things that you want to say after. So I told her, I said, this guy, here's his name, he's a truck driver. I saw the spaghetti on my left leg. I said, now I'm seeing coins, something to do with coins, and they're looking at me, and their mouths, they're not trying to make any expressions, but they're yeah. So I knew something was on, but I'm like, please don't say anything. And then I'm seeing the movie Shawshank Redemption. I said, and it's not I'm being told that a person really liked the movie or anything like that. They're showing me the part where the box, where he had money, where Red in the movie had the money in the box. I said, I'm seeing a box underneath by a tree. And, they're really getting buggy-eyed and stuff. And it got to the point where I felt like I was in a little room, like in a small living room, and there was a hallway. I kept seeing a hallway. It was kind of dark. And then I happened to look down at my leg, and I said, oh my goodness. I said, this doesn't look like spaghetti on my leg. I said, it's I don't know what it is. It's like maggots, or I don't know. And then my friend stopped me. She goes, okay, Sue, she goes, I think we better stop you here. And I said, okay. Well, now, mind you, I was hoping something good would come through, but it wasn't all that good. the girl that was with her actually had, her brother had murdered her father. And I'm hearing, as I'm hearing the story from them, I'm hearing, people wanting to come through now at this point. And it appeared to be like him that was coming through, the murdered father. And I had to end it by putting her at ease. But apparently the stuff on the leg, the brother had beaten the father so badly that there was, his insides were all over his leg. So it wasn't exactly spaghetti that I saw on my leg. The box that was buried under the tree, the cops saw the dirt because apparently he had taken the clothes and the gloves that he had and he buried it in like an old army box or something, a toolbox of some sort, buried it under the tree. The guy was an alcoholic. He had problems. He was always trying to borrow money, and I guess he had stolen the coins that I was seeing and things like that. So, sometimes the people that come through, oh, and the father was a truck driver and that was his first name. Sometimes it's not always the best stuff that comes through. It didn't appear to be gory at first. I try my best to get the best of things. That one really stuck out in my head because that was probably the most dramatic one that I did. Luckily, the girl wasn't affected by it. Thank God. I hope she wasn't afterwards. But anyway, after doing that, she says, well, we have one question, is there anybody else there? What caused him to do this? Things like that. And that's when the mother, who had already passed away, stepped forward, and she was describing herself, how she looked, and that was definitely her. And she said that he had a problem with alcohol, and even though the brother said that he didn't remember, he did know what was going on. Now, granted, if you have alcohol in your system, it does make things a little bit more harder to remember, but he knew what he did. And he had drug problems, things like that. So that was one of the readings that I did. That was a unique ending. I did put closure to what she wanted to know. The father seemed to be fine once he had crossed over. That's just one of the readings that I've done. Another thing that I did, this was a remote viewing case. And there was a girl that had been missing out in New Hampshire. And my friend, who's actually, he does private investigation stuff and work, he contacted me. He says, he goes, I'm not into this stuff. He says, but I got to ask you, what do you get on this girl? And luckily I didn't know anything about the case at the time, because the more I know about the case, the more it influences maybe how I perceive things. So, I did see a really wooded area. I saw a lot of hills. I kept getting this thought of like skiing, which made sense because she worked at a place and it was like a ski place next to it. It was in the mountains. I kept getting Big Apple. I said, I don't know what Big Apple is. And he says, well, some of the suspects we think, some of the main suspects are from New York City. I said, okay. And I did think that some of this was drug related, and they did too. I saw a certain individual and a female, and it made sense. It all fit the case, So, her body was still missing, and I saw it as, well, I'll be truthful with you. I saw what looked like an animal in my face eating me. I was already gone, And later on I found out, it's, you know, I looked things up on the web to see how it was a couple years later, and people had stated that she was fed, her body was fed to pigs, you know, things like that. I obviously would not tell somebody's parents this. No. A private investigator, I would say, you know, well, you know, the chances are, you know, things aren't so good. But that was another one, another missing case. This girl, whom was friends with my kids, I mean, I didn't really know her, I met her once. She'd come up missing, and I remote viewed where she was, and I felt like I was in water. And I could see, if you're underwater and your eyes are open and you're looking up and you're seeing the top of the water, it's all kind of shimmery. I could see like I was underwater, and I could see like outlines of trees, like it was really dark, the part where the trees were. I saw that. She was found a year later, and apparently her body was at one time in the water, and after winter and all that, you know, her body was outside of the water and up on the shore. But, you know, there was another case of missing people. Oh, this missing little boy, he was a baby, and it was local here, you know, about 12 miles from here. And I saw, like, I was in this, the only way to describe it was like a cooler, and I could see, like, the rim around it, the whole 9 yards. It was like something that was like plastic, and I could see the rim of it, and I felt like that baby had been moved. I don't think that it was always in that plastic thing in a dark area. I think at one point it almost looked like a well, or someplace where there's water, but it's not necessarily wet. It's not like underwater. And then, you know, a couple weeks later, the scene didn't really change too much. I just felt like it was darker, like maybe, you know, I was underwater. And I don't mean to be gruesome telling you these stories, but when you have like missing people cases and things like that, you know, you do see these things. And the baby was found, and it was actually in like a cooler of some sort. Not a cooler, but like a tote, but I could see the rim of it. And I had seen stores, that, like a certain store that was nearby, that was there, you know, like the bridge. It all made sense. So, you know, I mean, that's just some of what I've dealt with as far as, like, how I perceive things when somebody's missing and they're gone. There was a case out there about this girl. I was never called in on it specifically. There's a girl that I had watched on Unsolved Mysteries who came up missing in the 70s. I'm not going to announce any names on here. And it really plagued me how this girl just all of a sudden was abducted and was missing, and they were searching for her for all these years. And, you know, I didn't see her as dead. You know, it's sad because this girl was normal, and she was taken from a normal middle-class family, and she was subject to drugs and sex and all this other crap. And, you know, I mean, it really bothered me because I know that she's still out there, and I know she is alive. She's in her 50s now, probably close to 60, if not in her 60s. Real beautiful young girl. And little things like that, you know, I do that on my own. I don't tell anybody about it. I just remote view things when something really fascinates me too. Now, the case back there in 2012 when there was like a bunch of fish and stuff that were dying and things like that, I remote viewed, you know, I remote viewed what I wanted to find out why, you know, and I'm getting pictures of like this grid thing, and I definitely felt it was governmental, you know, frequency, sonar, things like that. I've missing, like the missing planes sometimes, you know, I remote view for my own personal curiosity. And it's pretty interesting. Sometimes I wish that it were actually in color, because it's really hard to make out when you see things as in shapes in images and it looks like a black and white negative. But anyway, I'm just babbling here. I just wanted to give you an idea of some of the things that I do. I do much more positive things too. So I just wanted to let you in a little bit on my world and let you know what's going on, and let you know that I'm still here. I just had some serious dental work, so I wasn't making any videos for a while, and I'm surprised I still am with my mouth being a little crooked. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and if you guys, like I said before, and with any and every video, if you have any questions, go on down below, leave a question, or you can email me. Whatever you want to do, I'd love to hear your story. If you just want a free reading done, you know, I'll be glad to make a video and give you answers over a video. However you want it done, let me know. I mean, I'm not charging anybody for this. This is just something that I'm doing now that I have a little bit of time on my hands. And I've got one of those brains I always want to keep going, and my hands want to keep going, and my body wants to keep going. So it's just something to do, a little bit of a hobby, and if I can help anybody in any way, well, I'm all for that. Thanks so much for watching.